Reddit users, please share your confession stories. What are some things you feel ashamed of now? I once stole a traffic cone from the side of the road and kept it as a trophy. It's something silly, but it's haunted me for years. I finally returned the cone and apologized to the city for my juvenile behavior. I overcharged customers while working a register 1/4 at a time. Way back in the 90s. I know I'm older than dirt. When the state quarters came out, I was employed at McDonald's. This was long before digital screens or even them accepting credit and debit cards. Well, I wanted to collect the new state quarters, so when in the drive-thru I would overcharge every customer by 25 cents. Did this for ages and would leave work every day with pockets full of quarters, but my register was always correct. I ended up with many rolls of each state quarter. I don't pay for the grocery bags at the store. I always click 0 bags when I check out. I'm already paying so much for groceries. I've been drinking to get through work for the past 2 months. I've had an issue with alcoholism in the past, and I'm not even supposed to be drinking in the first place. Today though was too much for me and I drunk cried in the bathroom. I'm not supposed to be intoxicated at all at my job and I just feel really guilty about it. I feel really weak and pathetic for being unable to handle working like a normal person. I used to be a bully in high school. I would torment kids and make their lives miserable. Looking back, I realize how terrible my behavior was and how much pain I caused. I'm ashamed of my past actions, but I'm working hard to make amends and be a better person. I once stole a significant amount of money from my employer. At the time, I justified it to myself as a way to get ahead and make up for the low pay I was receiving. But the guilt eventually caught up with me, and I ended up confessing to my boss and returning the money. It was a hard lesson, but I'm glad I learned it. I used to be a serial dater and would go out with multiple people at once without telling them. It wasn't until I got caught that I realized how hurtful my actions were. I've since taken a break from dating and am focusing on being single and working on myself. I used to be a people pleaser and would always put others' needs before my own. It wasn't until I started standing up for myself and setting boundaries that I realized how empowering it can be. Now I prioritize my own well-being and am happier for it. I used to be a compulsive liar. I would lie about anything and everything, even when there was no reason to. It took losing the trust of my closest friends and family for me to realize how damaging my behavior was. Now, I strive to be as honest and transparent as possible in all my interactions. I used to be a hoarder and would collect all sorts of strange things like empty food containers and used napkins. It wasn't until my home became unlivable that I sought help and started decluttering. It's a strange addiction, but I'm proud of how far I've come. I once accidentally sent a text meant for my crush to my boss. It was a mortifying experience, but it taught me the importance of double-checking before hitting send. Plus, my boss ended up being surprisingly cool about it. I used to be a thrill seeker and would do dangerous stunts like skydiving and bungee jumping. It wasn't until I had a near-death experience that I realized how precious life is. Now I seek thrills in more meaningful ways, like volunteering and traveling to new places. I was addicted to drugs for years and did some truly terrible things to support my habit. I lied, cheated, and stole from those closest to me. It wasn't until I hit rock bottom and lost everything that I finally sought help and got clean. It's a constant struggle, but I'm grateful every day for the chance to make amends and live a better life. I've struggled with mental health issues for years and have been ashamed to talk about it. But I've realized that there's nothing to be ashamed of and that it's important to seek help and support when needed. By being open about my struggles, I hope to help reduce the stigma surrounding mental illness. I put the cheapest kg price on the most expensive veggies in the store. I really don't regret it and I do it every time. When I was 17, I stole a PlayStation 1 but didn't know how much they cost. So when I lied to my mom about getting it on sale for $200, she was like, "Whoa, how did you get it so cheap?" I made up some bullshit about a sale, and she left it alone. I got a few big ticket items, but was eventually caught stealing batteries, of all things. I was getting close to 18 at that point, so I decided to end my feeding days. But I have always been a hustler, so if there's a way to make some money on the DL, I'm usually down for it. I don't recycle as much as I should. It's not that I don't care about the environment, but sometimes I forget or get lazy. It's a habit I'm trying to improve upon. I used to steal my roommate's food without asking. It wasn't until they confronted me about it that I realized how selfish and disrespectful it was. I have a secret addiction to online shopping. It's become a problem because I'm spending more than I can afford and accumulating a lot of unnecessary clutter in my home. I cheated on my partner, and it's something I regret every day. It was a moment of weakness that I can never take back, but I've done everything I can to make it right and earn back their trust. It's not easy, but I know that owning up to my mistake and being honest about it is the only way to move forward. I have a habit of overspending on luxury items to impress others. It's something I'm trying to overcome by focusing on my own values and priorities. I once got into a physical altercation with a stranger at a bar. It was a scary and shameful experience that taught me the importance of controlling my anger and avoiding potentially dangerous situations. I once ate an entire pizza by myself in one sitting. It's not exactly a deep, dark secret, but it's a strange and impressive feat that I'm oddly proud of. Friends, thank you for watching. Please share your stories below in the comments and see you on the next videos. Have a good day.